Okay, so here is question 8. Okay, and they've told us the longest side is 2x minus 1, two short sides, x plus 1, x minus 1, and the largest angle is 120 degrees. Okay, meaning that we've got 60 degrees left to share between these two angles, which means they're both acute angles, showing that that's the obtuse, which has to be opposite the longest side. So they want us to find x. So let's start with the cosine rule, which is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of a. Okay, and with that in mind, we can do, this is going to be angle A, so side A, angle B, side B, angle, or side C, angle C. There we go. With that all done, we can start the process of putting it in to see what it multiplies out to. So there's a squared plus b squared, which is x minus 1 squared, plus c, which is x plus 1 squared, minus 2 times x minus 1 for the b, x plus 1 for the c, times the cos of 120 degrees. Cos of 120 degrees is minus a half. So we'll just put that in there so we know what we've got. Okay, so multiply this out. 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 2 times x minus 1, x plus 1. That's going to give me x squared minus 1, multiplying by minus a half. Okay. Let's have a little tidy up of this whole section here. So we've got minus a half times minus 2, which is plus 1. And plus 1 times that is just going to be the x squared plus minus 1. Okay. Everyone happy with that? So that whole section there, because minus 2 times minus a half, 2 minuses make a plus, 2 times a half is 1, meaning we've just got what's in the bracket, so it's just x squared minus 1, and it's a plus at that. Okay, let's see what we can put together here then. So these two cancel, the minus 2x and x. Okay, the plus 1 and the minus 1 cancel. Okay, and so now if we bring everything across, we have got 4x, well, we've got x squared, x squared, x squared, that's 3x squared, so that leaves us, coming over here, leaves us just x squared, because 4 take away 3. Okay, in terms of the things with just x's, it doesn't change, minus 4x. Okay, and coming across here, we have a plus 1, which comes across here, and it cancels out there, which equals 0 now. Cancel through by x, so we've got x minus 4 equals 0, and so we've got x equals 4 centimeters. Okay, for question 8. Good. Now then, question 8b is find the area of triangle. So the area triangle is a half AB sine C. Okay, and I'm going to change that formula around. For my letters I've got up here, so my angle is sine A, and I've got a half BC. Okay, so I've got a half times, now remember this is 4, so 4 minus 1 is 3, and 4 plus 1 is 5, and it's the sine of 120 degrees. Okay, So we've got 15 over 2 times root 3 over 2, because the sine of 120 is root 3 over 2. So we end up with 15 root 3 over 4 centimeters squared. Okay. What does question 9 have for us on this? Question 9. Park keeper is walking. Let's have a look at the diagram that they've drawn us here. We get this, we get that. We have 110 degrees on that one of north. Point C, 1.4 kilometers. Point B, 1.2 kilometers. They've helpfully drawn this for us. And A. So, park keeper walks due north from his hut. So this is where the hut is. Okay. At point A to point B, he then walks on the bearing to point C. Find how far he is from his hut when he is at point C. Give your answers to 3 significant figures in kilometers. So we're looking for the length of AC. Okay. So first things first, let's work out angle CBA, which is going to be 180 minus the 110, which gives us 70. Okay, so we can fill that in there. Okay. And from there, if we know the north line, what else? Can we use the sine rule on that? A half AB. It looks like we're going to use the cosine, so we're going to use a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. Okay, and that is where this would be A. That would be angle A. We can go for side B. We can go for side C. Okay, giving us angle B and angle C if we really wanted to use them. With that in, we can start with A squared is equal to B squared, which is 1.2, plus 1.4 squared minus 2 times 1.2 times 1.4, the cos of 70. Okay, so A is equal to the square root of, quickly put all that into the calculator, 1.2 squared plus 1.4 squared minus 2 times 1.2 times 1.4 times the cos of 70. 2.2508 and some change, meaning that A is equal to the square root of that, 1.500027, which is 1.50 kilometers to 3 significant figures. Part A. Part B, they want to work out the bearing of the hut from point C. So the bearing of the hut from point C, if you take your north line at C, okay, what can we work out from that? We can work out 70 degrees there. We're going to need to find angle B, okay, and then we can take it away from 360 degrees. Okay, so angle B is going to be the use of the sine rule, okay, over the 1.2 being the side opposite is going to equal the 1.50 of A over the sine of 70 using this angle here. Okay, so to find angle B then, multiply up, divide by that. So we're going to end up with 1.2 times the sin of 70 divided by 1.50 is equal to the sine of B, which will equal 1.2 times the sine of 70. Okay, divided by 1.5, 0.75175, and so angle B is equal to 48.7425, meaning the bearing of A from C is equal to what's that? That's 70 in there, isn't it? So it's 70 plus the 48, so it's going to be 360 minus 70 minus the 48.7425, which equals 241. How accurate do they want it? 257 degrees. Call it 241 to 3 degrees to 3 significant figures. Okay. And finally, for part C of this question, we need to look at, what's part C? Part C, work out the area enclosed by the walk. A half AB sine C, I think we will use for that. Okay, so the area of the triangle is equal to a half AB sine C, which is going to be a half times 1.2 times 1.4 times the sin of 70. Which is 0.78934 kilometers squared. 789 kilometers squared, 3 significant figures. Okay. That's question 9 done. On to question 10 then. Question 10. A windmill has 4 identical triangular sails made of wood. If each triangular sail has a length of 12, 15 and 20, 20, 12 and 15, fair enough, work out the total area of the wood needed. Okay, so to begin with on this, it would appear that you don't have enough information because you're like, well, I need to know an angle, or I need to know a vertical height or something like this to enable me to get this to come out. Okay, and to fiddle it through. And yes, you do. Or you can use something else called a Heron's formula. Okay, now the other thing we can do is we can make parallelograms. I don't know if it's going to help us on this one, because if I was to do another side here of 20, and this side here then is 12, okay, and then have two of these, which is useful. Again, it's not helping me with that vertical height, is it? Okay, I get the 20, but I need that vertical height in there. And I can keep adding in and adding in if I want, but it's not helping me greatly. So we will look up Heron's formula, okay, which isn't very widely used, but it's quite good, okay. And we'll see. Okay, so this is Heron's formula, and it says the area of a triangle is equal to the square root of s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c, where s is equal to a half of a plus b plus c. Okay, a, b and c are the lengths of your sides. Okay, so in this case we will have a is equal to 12, b is equal to 15, and c is equal to 20. So we can say s is equal to a half of 12 plus 15 plus 20. 12 plus 15 plus 20, which is 47, divided by 2, 47 over 2. Okay, or 23.5, of course. Okay, and then we can start putting it in, and we can say the area is equal to 23.5, and let's go for 23.5 minus 12, and 23.5 minus 15, and 23.5 minus 20. 23.5 times minus 12 is 11.5. Minus 15 is 8.5. Minus 20 is 3.5. Okay, so 23.5 times by 11.5 times 8.5 times 3.5 is 8,039.9375. Square root of that. 89.6656. And then you've got to remember that you have 4 identical cells on this windmill, so the whole thing needs to be times 4, which gives you a total area of 358.66. So we'll go for 359 meters squared, 3 significant figures. Okay, now that's all well and good if you know Heron's formula. If you don't know Heron's formula, you need to use something else to quickly find an angle in here. So let's quickly use cosine rule, and let's say that 20 squared is equal to 12 squared plus 15 squared minus 2 times 12 times 15 times the cosine of angle A, which we'll mark as this angle up here. Okay, quickly find out what angle A is. Okay, so on the calculator, obviously 20 squared is 400. Okay, and I'm going to take away 144 for the 12 squared, taking away the 15 squared, 225, something like that, leaves me 31. So I've got 31 is equal to minus what's 2 times 12 times 15, 360, cos A, so 31 divided by minus 360 equals cos A, 31 divided by 360, okay, and then the inverse cos of that gives us an answer of A is equal to 94.9399. Okay, and then we can use triangle area is equal to a half AB sine C. Okay, so we've got a half times 12 times 15 times the sin of 94.93. Okay, so the sine of that, okay, times by 15 times by 12 times by 0.5 is 89.66, and of course there's 4 of them. You can see times 4 will give you the same answer. Okay, so 2 different ways of working out to finish up for question 10.